passing. We now take you live to our reporter Mzwandile Mbeje, who's stationed at the UJ campus in Soweto, where the ANC in Gauteng is holding a special memorial service for the late struggle stalwart Mama Winnie Madikizela-Mandela. Very good afternoon to Mzwandile. Do tell us about the event. Has it started, and who exactly will be attending today?
Thank you very much, Alicia. Indeed, what's happening now is that the hall is reverberating through the struggle songs in honor of Mama Winnie Mandela as they wait for more supporters to fill this hall. They've been coming in their numbers, indeed, to say farewell, Mama Winnie. This is part of the many memorial services that are happening across the country, the provincial services. We have seen earlier that the ANC SG, who's going to be the keynote speaker here, unveiled the tribute wall so that the people of South Africa, ordinary people of South Africa, could have the possibility as well to express their feelings outside Luthuli House. With me is the ANC spokesperson in Gauteng, Motaletale Modiba, just to tell us about this event. Mr. Modiba, so what can we expect that can happen as soon as the leadership arrives?
Look, we are expecting, thank you Mzwandile for having us, we are expecting the leadership of the ANC in Gauteng, led by Comrade David Makura, who is the acting provincial chairperson, to actually lead the PEC of the ANC in Gauteng to pay tribute to Mama Winnie Madikizela-Mandela. You would know that Mama Winnie, as the ANC in Gauteng province, we are a very fortunate province in that we are a province where majority of our stalwarts reside. And from time to time, you will have our leadership going to consult with people like Mama Winnie to draw from their fountain of wisdom and to really get a view from their side in terms of how do we serve our people better since that they've been there. So today we're expecting him to open the meeting, but also we're expecting the leadership of the alliance in the province, your SABC, your Sanko, your Kosatu, to be able to give messages of support. We're expecting structures of the ANC in the province in the form of your leagues, your MKMVA, to also be able to bid their farewell and say what is it that they have learned from the legacy of Mama Winnie, and how are they going to ensure that beyond all of these memorial services we get to sustain her legacy. Already we've got people that are coming in from all the 5 regions of Gauteng, your Ekurhuleni, Tshwane, Joburg, Western, Sidibeng, and even from neighboring provinces coming through to come and say we are bidding farewell to a mother who has been selfless, a mother who has been patriotic, a mother who has given all that she had for the service of her people. And that's what we're expecting today.
Can we expect the event to start on time? I see people are coming in their numbers to fill in this hall.
Look, already as we're talking now, outside there's a huge line of people that are moving inside, and by the looks of things, it looks like we are going to be able to start on time, the way people are rushing in.
Thank you very much. That is the spokesperson of the ANC here in Gauteng, Alicia, saying the members of the alliance will also be part of this event. Of course, from the province, the acting chairperson, David Makura, will be part of the event and deliver the key address in terms of the province. But we know that the SG of the ANC is the main speaker billed to speak here.
Mzwandile, we understand, look, you're in a place of Millennials. That is the UJ campus. Do tell us, we understand that the condolence book can also be signed online, but we haven't really got a clarification as to how can Millennials go and sign online and make a contribution with their condolences.
You'd remember that there's been many platforms opened for people from across the board. You know, the millennials, as you put it, would perhaps find it easier to go online and really deposit their message. The ANC earlier did tell us that there is a website that has been opened where people can just easily go in there and see and put their messages. And that's how the spokesperson of the ANC put it, Pulemabe, said, so once you get to the website, then you will then have the opportunity and the possibility to deposit your message as part of this condolence book. Other people would prefer, obviously, to do it the traditional way, to go to where there are condolence books so they can sign. But even those who are not near those places where there are physical condolence books like the internet. So they will also have that possibility, Alicia.
You know, Mzwandile, just stay right there, because I am seeing on your left of the insert there, we do understand that, of course, the biggest soccer clubs in South Africa, that is Kaizer Chiefs and, of course, Orlando Pirates, have arrived outside Mama Winnie's house. And we can see on the insert there, and apparently they will be laying a wreath around the area. And, of course, this is very interesting. Every South African everywhere has decided to go and pay homage to Mama Winnie Madikizela-Mandela.
Alicia, when you talk about Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs, those clubs originate from Orlando. So Mama Winnie used to live in Orlando. They are going to her house in Orlando. And those two teams are not only the teams that are based in Orlando. So they may have originated here, but their reach is national. So it tells you the importance and the role that Mama Winnie played. It was not only politics. You saw yesterday that the churches across the country paid their tribute. So almost all the churches were using the occasion to remember Mama Winnie. Yes, she was a politician, but she also attended church service. And then if you see these two soccer clubs, which represent millions of South Africans, go to Mama Winnie and pay their tribute, it's basically the feeling of ordinary South Africans across the nation that they are feeling this loss. They are feeling that the kind of contribution that Mama Winnie made went far beyond the politics, but it touched the ordinary people. That is why, Alicia, we have perhaps so many informal settlements that are named after Mama Winnie Mandela. So it tells you about the role that she has played.
You know, Mzwandile, let's talk about this issue. I mean, we do know that there was a reported incident of a shooting outside her house, I think yesterday. Tell us about the security measures that have been adhered to, particularly where you are, because we are seeing throngs and throngs of people on a daily basis flocking to all these designated venues for the memorial services and so forth. Do tell us, how has security been beefed up, particularly around her house and in these venues where people are going to pay homage to the late struggle stalwart?
You'd remember that the Minister of Police, came out and addressed that matter because when people fired those shots, it was really not acceptable from the point of view of many South Africans, because it would create a wrong impression. And we understand that the security is really up to scratch in terms of handling those issues should they arise. But coming back to where we are, of course, it's still accessible to ordinary people, but they were a bit strict. We were supposed to go up much earlier, but because there was a process of sweeping to make sure that no one comes in here with arms, so it took a bit of time. So that tells you that they are very serious about making sure that this event is secure. But I need to stress, it's very accessible to ordinary people, so you don't feel threatened in any way. But of course, at the same time, they want to make sure that whoever is here is secured, Alicia.
Mzwandile, talk to us about the message of unity that must now be prevailing across the halls of where you are, and of course all across Soweto and across the country. We've seen various organizations. We heard earlier from your interview that COSATU and SANCO are going to be part of this gathering. So a message of unity strongly prevailing at these different venues.
If there is one epitome of unity in the ANC, it is the late Mama Winnie Madikizela-Mandela. Indeed, the fact that she was respected across the board means even the different factions know how important it was. So at this hour, so they realize that perhaps they need to go back to the values in which she stood for. This is someone who really suffered, not only suffered for herself, she suffered for all of us, and she suffered for her movement. So if her movement then were to let her down by perhaps just showing a disunity in public or in public platforms like this, it will be a disservice to someone who really made sure that at every turn, so she fought for unity. I can even take you back, Alicia, to the time when the then presidents, President Mbeki and President Zuma, were contesting for leadership in Polokwane. She is one voice who tried by all means to make sure that that contest didn't happen, because it had all the characteristics of division. So while she may not have been listened to, look what happened afterwards. So now they don't want a situation where a repeat of that nature would happen. So that is why the leadership of the alliance, the leadership of the various factions of the ANC are speaking with one voice. They are saying this is the moment where they need to pull together, because Mama wanted unity for her movement, not only for her movement, but for the country as well, Alicia.
Absolutely. And talking about that, Mzwandile, we saw, of course, the royal families from the Eastern Cape also arriving as of yesterday and today, also bringing that message of support. Do you tell us, I mean, what has been the message from those families, particularly in Qunu, in regards to her passing and some of the memorials that have been organized by the ruling party?
If you listened to a message from any South African, black or white, young or old, ANC or not ANC, it's been that this is someone who we need to pay our tribute to, because the legacy that she is leaving, never mind that there would be those who would want to poke holes in whatever she did, but I can tell you, no one is perfect. The role that Mama played far exceeded what perhaps may have been negative, according to people. So the message really has been, so we need to respect and accept that Mama played a huge contribution for us, all South Africans, to become what we are. Today we are standing here as South Africans, reporting to South Africans what is happening. Were it not for the efforts of people like Mama, we wouldn't be in this situation. So these are the people who made it possible for us to gain freedom, perhaps much quicker than we would have.
All right, Mzwandile, we'll leave it there for now. We'll definitely touch base with you much later on as those commemorations continue. Mzwandile Mbedje is our senior political reporter, and he was joining us live from the UJ campus, where the ANC is also holding a special memorial service there. Let's take a quick ad break. We're back in a short while with more news.